Welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now. I am Tom Downing. Today's show is a mailbag. We answer your questions as they've come in about various Vikings topic. We begin with a very on-brand username, Skull Nations. Thank you very much for your question. Does Jordan Addison have a chance to win Rookie of the Year? Chance? Yes. Likely? No. The current Rookie of the Year odds for offense, of course, for Jordan Addison are plus 1,700. Fairly steep odds. Now, look, it's Rookie of the Year. There's a lot of candidates, so everything tends to be a little bit on the juice side if you can get it right. And look, Addison had a great college career. He was Blitnikoff Award winner back in 2021. Also, how about that edit, by the way, of Jordan Addison in a Vikings jersey? That one looks absolutely fire. That's one of those edits that might end up looking better than the actual photos we end up getting of Jordan Addison in a Vikings jersey. But I digress. Look, he had a great year in 2021, not as good in 2022. He was asked to do a bunch of different things. I would expect that Addison's going to feast on underneath stuff for Minnesota. I think with all of the attention going to Justin Jefferson, he might be able to put up a ton of catches and well over 1,000 yards as the number 2/number 3 target in Minnesota and feast on underneath stuff and make some plays because the attention is going to go to Jefferson. Addison as a 2 is going to be a fantastic fit in Minnesota. So most likely, it probably goes to a quarterback. It probably goes to Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson because Rookie of the Year is still a hype-based award. But if Addison puts up big-time numbers in a receiving class that maybe isn't the best, he could absolutely at least generate some buzz for Offensive Rookie of the Year. From Scully Roley. Okay. We don't like Roley here that much. But anyway, should they try to sign Marcus Peters after freeing up cap space after the Zadarius Smith trade? I'd be open to it. We have talked for how long now on this channel about the Vikings cornerback room, and do you really trust Byron Murphy and Andrew Booth and a Caleb Evans? And I don't feel immensely confident in that potential situation for Minnesota. I would wonder just how much Marcus Peters really has left in the tank. 1 interception, 6 pass breakups. It is not often, even for a player as good as Marcus Peters is, that you see corners after a bunch of injuries be able to continue their path. Peters is only 30, but remember, he has missed time throughout the course of his NFL season. He missed all of 2021. Has not played a full 16-game season since 2018. So if you add Marcus Peters, you have to assume you're not getting the 8 interception, 4. That might be like 1 or 2. Maybe give you some veteran depth. That's valuable. I think Peters can give you one more solid year, if not, maybe not the full 16, 17-game schedule. But I do wonder just how much is realistic. I mean, the Ravens were quick to move on. They were like, it's fine. We don't need him anymore. Even though he's been with them for 4 years. So I would be cautious, but yes, I would have interest still in Marcus Peters. So what do you guys think? Do you want to sign Marcus Peters? S for sign, P for pass. This will be today's pinned comment. So if an ad break happens to come here on the YouTube side, take advantage of it. Head down there, S for sign, P for pass. From the greatest ever, what UDFAs do you think can make the Vikings roster? We did break down all of the UDFAs previously on this channel, which I hope you guys are subscribed and caught that UDFA video. 2 names really stand out. I think 2 of the bigger undrafted free agents at all this year. 2 of the top guys that were left on my personal board. Ivan Pace Jr., who producer Patrick absolutely loves, the linebacker out of Cincinnati, and Andre Carter, the edge rusher out of Army. Let's start with Pace here. Why he makes sense. I had him in the top 100 on my board. He is an undersized, small, not great high-end athlete. Like he's a small guy, but if he was like 6'2", or even 6 foot, he would have been drafted. Might have been a top 100 pick. Might have been a top 50 pick. Like he's that big of an impact player. As an undersized blitzer, I like him. I think I take him over Troy Dye. Low bar, I know, but I think Pace is a really good shot to make this team. I love his fit in Minnesota. Andre Carter stands out, because there was some first-round buzz for him. Then he was bad his last year at Army, unfortunately. But the contract given to him, of his contract, $300,000 of his base salary and a $40,000 signing bonus was guaranteed. $340,000 guaranteed is up there with some 6-round picks. Like that's actually a big amount of money to get as an undrafted free agent. And it's a clear sign that Minnesota wanted him, and they want him on this team. So because of the need at linebacker, the fit for Ivan Pace, and the money given to Andre Carter, I think it makes a lot of sense for both those guys to make the 53-man roster. Now, Pace, I think, has ups as a special team stud immediately. I think Carter probably is a redshirt year guy because he needs time in an NFL weight room. As it turns out, going to Army, they tend to prepare you for things other than football in terms of the way they structure their weight training and programming. Like, there's actually weight maximums. So it's not, he needs time in an NFL weight room. He'll get that in Minnesota. So be patient with Carter. There's some upside there. From To the Moon, if Dalvin Cook is cut or traded, where will he end up? I don't think the Dolphins end up being the case anymore. They got Devon A-Chain, cross them off. I think Buffalo makes some sense. We talked about them. Denver seems like Javonte Williams is going to be fairly healthy. I think the Dallas Cowboys are a decent fit, though. Now, they're not going to trade for him. No, I don't think anyone's trading for Dalvin Cook unless he or the Vikings eat some of that money, i.e. Dalvin Cook takes a pay cut or the Vikings pay some of the base salary to get that number down. He's owed $11 million in salary this year. For what he currently is in his career, that's just not going to happen for me. Now, CBS Sports had actually hyped up as a trade fit. Again, not going to happen. The main argument was Jerry Jones loves a splash. That is a myth. Every year we have the Jerry Jones wants to make a splash in the draft report. They've not moved up in over a decade, so keep that in mind. But running back is an area of concern. They move on from Ezekiel Elliott, which was the correct move for the Cowboys. 6th-round pick in Deuce Vaughn, Ronald Jones, some guys you've never heard of, and Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Hunter Lipke. Dalvin Cook does make sense for Dallas if he's cut and if he comes at the right cost. And maybe the whole, leaking or the reveal of the pulling him off the banner, whatever, putting Alexander Madison on there, maybe that was all about getting a pay cut for Dalvin Cook. And maybe Dalvin Cook won't find a big market elsewhere. Maybe they'll even allow him to go talk to other teams. Say, hey, you know what, Dalvin? See what they're going to offer you, and maybe we'll match it, as opposed to cutting you outright. So what team, still in Minnesota, well, I think a lot of buzz at the cut. We'll see what happens June 1st, or I guess June 2nd. What team will Dalvin Cook play for next season? Sound off in the comment section right now. To Sean Muster we go. Could the Vikings sign Jadeveon Clowney with the extra cap space? Can they? Absolutely. You move on from Zadarius Smith, which we kind of thought he wanted to trade, right? The Browns got an upgrade. Pretty clearly going from Jadeveon Clowney to Zadarius Smith. Now, hopefully Smith does not complain about his role the same way that Clowney did. And that's why, although you can sign him, I don't want Minnesota to add Clowney to this roster. He was a problem with the Browns. Jadeveon Clowney, for those of you that haven't heard, it's kind of under the radar, underreported story because it was the Browns and they were bad down the stretch. Second to last week of the year, Clowney makes public comments to media saying he was upset. The Browns are not trying to win games, he says. They're trying to get Myles Garrett in the Hall of Fame. They're putting Myles Garrett on the better or on the worst tackle to give him the better matchup so he can get sacks, which, they were. Because, why wouldn't you put Myles Garrett on the worst defensive end and give him the best chance to rack up sacks and help your team play defense? That's just logic. Clowney was mad. He wasn't being put in position to get the sacks. That's what he was upset about. He was not being a team player. And the Browns, come week 18, were like, you know what? Don't even come. Don't show up to work. Go home. You're fine. He nuked that bridge in Cleveland. And that scares me because you have a player in Clowney who, he's a good run stopper, gets pressures, doesn't finish off sacks. He's been the same guy for years. He doesn't want to do training camp stuff. He wants big money, and he just is not welcome back in Cleveland, who lets anyone in, like Deshaun Watson, for example. So I don't want the player. I don't want that attitude on my team because you know what's going to happen? They're going to put Danielle Hunter on the worst edge. They're going to put Marcus Davenport on the worst edge. Cowney want to come be the number 3 pass rusher? I think he's going to raise a stink. Because of that, I'm out. Made it to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome. We'll show you some love if you can prove you made it to the end by typing in Skull in the comment section for us right now.